Page 16.
Okay.
Do you want me to just read it? It's only one sentence.
Yes, you go right ahead.
It says, it's talking about shunning, and it says, despite our pain of heart, we must avoid normal contact with a disfellowship family member by telephone, text messages, letters, emails, or social media. So, in a court case in Canada, one of the elders was testifying there in this court case at the Canadian Supreme Court. And he said that as far as their family members are concerned, meaning disfellowshipped ones, normal family relations continue.
Okay.
So why did he not tell the whole truth of it, like from the watchtower here?
Well, I'm not familiar, obviously, with the case in Canada. What I will say is that when it comes to disfellowshipping and families, when it comes to normal family relationships that have to do with caring for your parents or caring for the health of a younger person, then those are our obligation. That's laid before us by our Creator. That's just what we are supposed to do. But anything outside of normal family relationships, spending time together for fun, that kind of thing, then yes, the disfellowshipping standards, that's where those would come into play. So in other words, a mom and a dad, if they have a child who is disfellowshipped, for instance, it's not that they feel that that person no longer exists or that they're dead in their eyes. It's not anything of that nature. In fact, the hope is that they would eventually, be able to rejoin the family and in their service to their God. So they still recognize them as, their daughter or their son, but they are not going to reach out and have, like personal type, enjoyable family time together. That's just not going to happen when the person is in a disfellowship state.
Yeah, thank you for that. But what I was asking was that he did not make any qualifications like that. He just said normal family relations continue with the exception of spiritual fellowship. Because see, this case was about that practice that someone brought that to the court. And this quote here, again, like I read you, was completely the opposite of what he said. And in one support group, there's over I think 90,000 former members, and they all say the same thing about it. And they would say,
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Are you by any chance a former
no.
witness?
No, I was just
Okay.
interested in learning more about the organization, but it's quite, to me, from what I have read in the Watchtower literature, seen on their videos about a mom not answering the phone when her daughter calls, and then they paraded a little young sister, about 10 years old, lauding her for not talking to her biological sister and other things like that. This man was very misleading. I know they practice what's called theocratic warfare, like Muslims call it taqiyya, where you don't need to tell the whole truth to those who don't deserve to know. And I was just wondering if that's what he was doing, because it has caused suicides, tremendous suffering, loss of jobs, grandparents never seeing their grandchildren, and many leave for conscience reasons after they do their research into the history of the organization and different things like that. So they're not all these wicked sinners, And it's really just a form of blackmail. They baptize children and even young teenagers. And
Oh, they do.
they do baptize children, and I can show you that actually in the literature, bragging about it.
So I'm going to hang up now, okay?
Why?
All right, thanks. Bye.
I think, yeah.
Okay.
How can I
Well,
help you?
I was reading on the Watchtower Online Library about disfellowshipping, and it says that in the 2017 one, October, it says, despite our pain of heart, we must avoid normal contact with a disfellowship family member by telephone, text messages, letters, emails, or social media. But on the other hand, one of the Watchtower's officials was in a court in Canada, and he said that with disfellowship people, normal family relations continue. And I was just wondering which one is true. It was actually the same year, 2017, because that quote I read says the total opposite.
Yeah. So is this a situation that you are personally experiencing, or is it just a curiosity?
Yeah, I was researching the organization.
Yeah. So when a member is disfellowship from the congregation, then any spiritual interaction and things of that nature, we do suspend out of loyalty to God's standards and showing our primary love and concern for His feelings and established principles and laws. As far as individual family choices as to what they consider or to what extent they have normal type of family interaction, that would be, in my opinion, something that I wouldn't want to, dictate for somebody else what they,
Well, that's very,
to what extent
that's very,
they do
that's
that,
very,
you know what I mean? So
yeah,
for
that,
myself, my experience with my sister, who experienced being disfellowshipped at one point, I suspended all contact with her. My parents had limited contact with her because they had business arrangements and things of that nature that it required them to have some sort of contact. So ultimately, the point of the arrangement is to help that individual realize and understand the severity of whatever course of action led to to that situation.
I wasn't,
I
wasn't really asking for the justification. I was asking why, why that man lied about it in court when you can easily read on the, in the Watchtower, from God's channel.
Yeah, I wouldn't classify it as lying in court.
Oh,
but
I
if you'd
see.
like, we can continue the conversation at another time. I have to run and handle a small congregation meeting that we're about to begin.
Okay.
But if you'd like, we can
If
have
that
someone call
doesn't,
you
if
back.
that doesn't qualify for lying, I don't know what does, because he said the total opposite. And
Okay.
I know they've been caught in that many times, like in court cases. If you want to see it, it was in Canada. His name, if you want his name, this representative of them is David Nam, Gnam. And again, he said this in
Yeah. Well,
2017.
thank you for letting me know. Thank you for bringing it to my attention. Enjoy your day, okay?
Okay, thanks.
Yes, it is.
Great. I just have a quick question I was wondering if someone could help me with. I was reading some
Sure.
about some years like 1914, 1919 in the online library.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so I was just wondering about Revelation 11. It talks about the two witnesses. Remember about that?
Okay.
Okay, well, how do they figure that the two witnesses are the faithful slave?
That's
that's something. Well, right now I am in the process of preparing for something else.
Uh-huh.
If you can, just leave me your name, and maybe we can make an appointment to go and sit with you.
Oh,
And
no,
go
I
over
didn't
these
really
things.
want anybody to sit with me. I just wanted to ask because it's really seems like a huge stretch. I mean,
Well, you know what? Well, if you go to jw.org,
yeah, I
the
am.
information is
That's
there.
where I am. They just assert that it's
Okay.
true. They don't give any evidence for that connection. And then that would make that whole chapter irrelevant to people at that time. Do you think they knew it was predicting the watchtower?
You know what? If you're not really interested in sitting down, I mean, we wouldn't really have much to talk
Okay.
about.
So you don't really have any reason why they would make that connection. I mean, and why is the number 2 not literal, but 144,000 is, you know? I just can't really figure
Well,
out their reasoning.
the thing is, you have a government, right? And the government has not only its head, but also those that are governed with him. Correct? So that's where you have Jesus and the 144,000.
Why isn't the number 2 the 2 witnesses then just 2?
You know what? We're I know what you're trying to do or prove.
What am I trying
And
to
so
do?
basically,
I mean, it's the most
you know
obvious
what?
question. It's the first step
Excuse
to,
me.
yeah,
If you want to sit down,
I am sitting.
let me know. Let me know if you want to sit down with us and go over it. Let me know where we can meet, and we will discuss it. All
Okay,
right?
so you have to research it also? You don't
You
really
have it.
know? Okay.
You have a nice
Thanks
day.
thanks anyways. God bless you. Do you have a minute?
Yes.
Great. Can I share a scripture with you?
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you calling the Kingdom Hall?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah. You want to share scripture?
Yeah. Do you have a minute?
Sure.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, it's Revelation 2:7. Do you want to look at it? Or do you just want me to read it?
Okay, let me get my Bible. Give me 1 second.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, so you said it's Revelation, correct?
Yeah, 2:7.
2:7. Let me see. I got it.
Okay, you want to read it?
Yeah. It says here, let the one who has an ear hear what the Spirit says to the congregations. To the one who conquers, I will grant to eat of the tree of life, which is in the paradise of God.
Okay, so where is that paradise?
Well, can you, where are you calling from?
My house, which is not in
Okay,
paradise.
but yeah, not in paradise.
Definitely
yeah, so
not.
I'm just, yeah.
Hello? Hello?